Now that you're a bit more comfortable with the introduction, let's move on to the body paragraphs. Make sure you have your copy of the 5-paragraph essay structure either open on your screen or printed out so we can follow along here. I also want you to go to the downloads page on howtopassanessay.com/downloads and scroll down a little bit and click on the body PDF. Now, you either need to print this 3 times or make sure you keep it open on your screen, because we are going to walk through this process for the body paragraphs 3 times. 1 for each paragraph. Okay, let's get started with this first body paragraph. You've already got your introduction written. You've got your 3 points for your thesis. Now we need to begin the body. So I'm going to open up Notepad again. Again, remember you've got lines here if you've got this printed out, so you can follow along and handwrite this, or you can open your word processor and follow along with a handout. I do not have the introduction here because I don't want you to think about the introduction. I want you to focus on that body paragraph. The only thing I want you to remember from the introduction is your actual thesis and your 3 points. The first of those points is the one that we need to focus on in this first paragraph. The topic sentence in your body paragraph is the first sentence that you want in the paragraph. It's also the easiest one to write because you've already written your 3 points for your thesis. Now remember, in the thesis, you had the topic for your essay, the entire essay, and you pointed out the 3 points that you wanted to cover in each of the body paragraphs. Now, just like you use the thesis statement to preview each of the points in your essay, you're going to use the topic sentence to preview what you're going to talk about in this first body paragraph. In this specific example, we're writing an essay on healthy snacks and sides for school lunches, and we chose to go with apples, oranges, and bananas as our 3 points. So for this first body paragraph, we need to pick our first of 3 points, apples. Now the topic sentence is very simple. It's one of those 3 points plus your overall topic of the essay, and you're introducing what you're going to talk about in that body paragraph. So for this specific example, I've written, one of the easiest snacks to pack for school is the basic apple. Now that gives us our overall thesis, our overall topic for the paper, plus it talks about the basic apple, our first of our 3 points. Make sure to remember that this is an academic essay, so you're not going to be using block paragraphs. You're using the traditional paragraphs that we've always been taught in the English class. So you need to make sure that this topic sentence, the beginning of that paragraph, is indented. You can either click tab or you can space over 5 spaces. Of course, if you're handwriting this, you just skip over a little bit of space, but you need to make sure that that visual indentation is there so that you can show the person grading your essay that you know this is supposed to be a new paragraph. With the topic sentence written, you need to start filling in the other blanks to complete this body paragraph. So we're going to move on from topic sentence, our first task, onto explication, which again is a little more than explanation. In this case, we're going to define, explain, give examples of the apple as an easy snack to pack for school. Exactly what we said in the topic, right? We're previewing what we're going to be explaining further. Now, for this particular situation, defining an apple is probably not such a great idea. It's going to be really boring. So skip the dictionary definition. You don't have to do all of these. Define, explain, give examples. Those are there to guide you. In this case, define doesn't really fit real well, but I do want to describe it a little bit and move into my explanation of how the basic apple is an easy snack to pack for school. So using the define a little bit, but mostly moving on to explanation, we're going to continue filling in the blanks with a couple of extra sentences. We'll go on with, this solid fruit, a little bit of a definition, is a particular favorite because it's easy to pack. Now we're going to continue that thought even further. Just rinse it off and it's ready for the lunchbox or bag. Again, it's all flowing well together. We've got all these transitions, so every thought moves on to the next one. Again, that's not quite enough to finish our paragraph, so we need to explain that a little bit further. We need to talk about, why is it easy to pack? How is it easy to pack? Why is this good for kids? Why is it good for mom and dad packing the lunches? So we continue on with the next sentences. If you get stuck in the body, just go back and think about define, explain, give examples. Okay, well, how can I explain this further? In fact, if you're really stuck, think about the 5 W's and the H. The who, what, when, where, why, how. Ask yourselves, who is this relating to? What am I talking about? Where is this going to take place? Ask yourself all the details and how it's relative to being an easy snack to pack for school, and you'll start being able to fill in these sentences. So we're going to continue on with the explanation and start moving into giving an example of how this apple is an easy snack to pack for school. So we'll move on with, there's not a lot of prep work involved to pack an apple, other than taking your child's taste into account when you choose red, yellow, or specialty apples. Again, you're explaining, you're giving some detail there. In the grocery store, stocking apples for lunch is simple. So we talked a little bit about getting the apples and stocking the apples, taking your child's taste into account, things that are going to make them actually want to eat this stuff. And we're going to move on to more of the example phase. So we fill in a few more sentences here. If you really want to put more work into it, you could slice the apple into wedges or chunks and put them in a plastic baggie or container. But then you risk the chance of the browning slime. Now, really, we're going back to attention getters here. We're trying to catch their attention with things that we've all seen. Those apples that get nasty after they've been sitting there for a while, been cut up. If they're whole, they don't really do that. You just eat it like an apple, straight out of your hand. Anyway, most parents will opt for sending a whole apple with the instructions to trash the core rather than bring it back home. Almost a little humor there. You know, everybody's had this experience, so you're drawing on what the reader knows. So by filling in the blanks, we've done our topic sentence. We took that topic sentence even further with explication, kind of defining, but really moving more into the explanation, explaining even more, giving some examples, using some imagery so we can actually draw them in. Always keep your reader in mind. You want to make them want to keep reading. You want to draw on the things that they know so they'll stay interested. And we also use transitions between each of those sentences to pull it all together. And it ended up being a fairly beefy little paragraph. If Word told me correctly, this is around 137 words. Now, given that the assignments are usually 400 to 600 words for an essay, and this is one of the 5 paragraphs, 137 out of 400 to 600 words, we're getting pretty close. We've already done our intro, and we've already done this body. We're getting really close to reaching that word count that we have to reach. Now, is this the best body paragraph in the world? Absolutely not. We're following the outline here. We're not trying to write great literature. Again, we are trying to pass an essay. We are trying to fill in these blanks so that we can meet the expectations of the graders. And that's what we're doing. We've done our topic sentence. We've indented. We've shown that we need to start the paragraph. We have gone through explication and do the who, what, where, when, why, how, and filled in the details. We've kind of defined it, explained it, given examples, real-world, tangible examples, and we've tied it all together. Now, we also have to transition into the next body paragraph, because even though we've kind of tied it together in our thesis with our 3 points listed with our overall topic, you don't want to just do one body paragraph and then boom, move into the next one. You need to put a little transition in there. Now, you can do that at the end, which I kind of did, talking about sending a whole apple with the instructions to trash the core rather than bring it back home, because that's going to lead into our next body paragraph.